Okay, there's 13,000 left for the rest of this year. That's all the income I know is coming in. And even through panicking, I picked my chin up and I made a plan. If you've ever felt like your money disappears faster than it arrives, this video's for you. Hey y'all, I'm Chanel. I'm a 32-year-old accounting student and a zero-based cash budgeter. Welcome back to Chanel's Pocketbook. If you're new here, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This is what real life budgeting looks like. I'm not starting from scratch, but I'm definitely starting from real. I sat down and I looked at every dollar I expect to bring in for the rest of 2025. Just under $13,000. And I broke it down into a 5-month roadmap. This helps me build my monthly budgets without feeling like I'm guessing every time. So let's talk numbers, strategy, and what I had to shift mentally just to get here. First up, how did I get that 13,000 number? Well, I looked at how many checks I have coming in over the next 5 months. I get paid every 2 weeks on Wednesday. The first check of August is August the 6th, while the last check of the year is December the 24th, which is exactly 11 checks for the rest of the year. Luckily, October is a magic month, which means that I'll have 3 checks that month. After determining how many checks I have through August and December, I take 11 and I multiply that by my average check, which is $1,140. So 11 times 1,040 gives us exactly $12,540. This is the dollars I have remaining for the rest of 2025. I'm not counting potential side hustle income, just what's guaranteed money. My job, my hourly pay, right? No bonuses, nothing, just strictly hourly pay. This is what I have left to work with for the rest of the year. And when I saw that about a week or so ago, I remember feeling very emotional. I felt like what I'm doing here today, cash stuffing and budgeting and trying to shift the dynamic, is going to be for nothing. I felt like I didn't earn enough income to live the life that I know I deserve to live. And I remember crying and feeling frustrated and needing something to take the edge off. I just couldn't deal with the fact that this is what I'm bringing in, right? But I believe about 3 or so hours after, I just decided to hone in. I vented to my best friend and I got different perspective, and I had to be reminded of all that I'm working towards. And if this is the dollar value, it just is what it is. But I know that I'm taking steps to drastically improve that, right? Oftentimes I have to remind myself to not allow the fact that I don't physically have the money stop me from having that money. And with that, I have to tell myself I cannot allow the physical to dictate what I know to be true, which is that I'm wealthy, I am abundant, and I attract money effortlessly. I maintain and have financial literacy and accountability and structure when it comes down to my money. I know this to be true. So the fact that this is the dollar value that I'm allegedly supposed to bring in just through my job, I refuse to think that this is all I truly will bring in. I know for a fact I'm going to bring in extra money, and we'll talk about that throughout this video. I'm choosing to place my focus and my awareness on what I want, which is more than this number. I have so much I want to do for the rest of this year, and I don't want to skimp, live on the cheap side or frugal side of things just because of this dollar value. So I know I can bring in the extra amount of dollars that I need to participate and show up for myself and my family and friends. And with all of that, what I want you to take from this message today is that when you are focusing on manifesting money, you are claiming that it is your birthright, you have to get out of the mindset of lack. You have to shift your perspective to understand that it just comes towards you. All right, so the goal is to shift the dynamic of our current reality, right? And to do that, as I mentioned, you have to get out of the mindset of lack. You have to envision your life as if you are wealthy and abundant. And to do that, through the help of Joe Dispenza plus meditating, I took a partial equation that he provided. I completed it and I found out the formula for manifestation is you have to do the work. What does doing the work look like? Depending on your lifestyle, it may be simply waking up. It could be getting ready for work. It could be showing up for yourself or selling merch, right? Even when things are stacked up against you, you still decide to get up and show up throughout your day, however that looks. By showing up and proving to yourself that you can persevere through any obstacle, big or small, that is one step closer towards hitting the goal here of manifestation, right? Now, what does having faith look like? Having faith looks like believing in self, right? In order for you to get up and do the work, you got to believe that you can do it. You have to believe that it's possible for you to show up for yourself. And while having that faith is simply that you're able to show up for yourself, if you can go that far and think that positively, you might as well take it to the next level and say, if I believe that I can show up for myself every day, show up every day until that check comes, show up every day until all of the merch has been sold, then I believe that I can also get closer and closer to the goal of manifestation, right? So you have faith that you can show up every day for yourself. You'll get to the end goal here of manifestation, right? So that is what Joe Dispenza told me. And it always felt like I was missing something. And then through meditating, I just had an epiphany. I was missing emotion. What does emotion mean? Embodying the energy in advance. Now, most people believe that in order to experience a manifestation, they have to first achieve it. And based on everyday teachings, I can completely understand why someone would feel that way. I too felt that way before. And that's why the work plus faith to get to the manifestation never felt like enough, because something was missing. In order for you to fully get to this level of manifestation, you have to embody the energy in advance. Now, what do I mean by that? You need to ask yourself, if you were to hit this goal, get that big bonus, hit your sales quota, how would you feel? Would you feel overjoyed? Would you feel jovial? Would you feel nervous, anxious? Would you feel gratitude? Would you feel humility? Would you feel abundance? Would you feel wealthy? You need to ask yourself, how do you think you will feel once you hit this goal? Now, you have to take that feeling and apply it before the goal is even received, right? So, by having that emotion of what it's going to feel like when I bring in my extra money, because I know I'm going to do so, and having faith that I can do so, this money is mine. I feel no lack. I feel nothing but abundance. I feel unlimited, right? I feel like I'm on the top floor. That's how I feel. Combining that with the belief that it is going to be mine and getting up and do the work through sales, through donation, through clocking into a 9-to-5, I have no choice but to get to my manifestation. I'm willing to bet that I'm going to get as close to the top floor as possible. Clock that T. Lux Gems. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys where all my money is going for the rest of the year. I have $185 going towards a passport, $200 for my dental care, $279 on Christmas for the kids, $350 on gas, $350 on a credit card bill, $469 on medical debt, $500 on household and personal supplies like toilet paper, bathing soap, pads, etc., shaving supplies, etc. My class reunion will be in the summer of 2026, so that is going to be $550. Next, we have car insurance, which is running about $590 for the rest of this year. I would love to save at least 5% of my income to a 1 month ahead challenge. That is $627. For my phone bill, if the bill remains to be $135 every month, that puts me at $675. My brother is also getting $675 for the remainder of the year. And then I'm going to use the $690 for the travel fund to pay for my flight to Cartagena, Colombia, which we're taking that trip at the top of January of 2026. Next up, we have reduced the grocery allotment from $1,000 to instead reflect $750. And then mom is getting $750 for her birthday starting in August. And then car maintenance is getting $900. I have some major repairs I would love to do. And registration is due by November as well. And lastly, $4,000 for the month of September through January. Remember, with some of these bills, we are actually ahead. We're not using current paychecks to pay for the current month. We're using the current paychecks to pay for the next month's rent. So that is how I calculated where all of my money is going to go. And really quickly, I just take it up a notch and show you guys some of the graphs and charts that I made to really give us that visual cue of where this money is going. So the fixed category has exactly $5,265 within that category. That is going to be 42% of the total income for 2025. Next, we have the variable expenses. That's $3,094 even. That puts us at about 25% of the remaining income. Next, we have $3,554, which is 28% of said income. And then the last amount, which is 5%, is $627 will be saved towards a 1 month ahead challenge. Okay. And to show you guys what bills I considered fixed, we're doing rent, phone, and car insurance. Variable expenses has my groceries, household, medical debt, credit card debt, gas, and my brother Charles. For sinking funds, we were doing car maintenance, mom, travel, class reunion, Christmas, teeth, and passport. Now, you guys may be wondering, if I'm able to do all of this, what am I missing? What experiences am I not participating in? Well, that's a very good question. And through estimating how much I'm going to need for these next few categories, I'll also get into what the subtotal of that is and what the grand total is that I need for the remainder of this year. So for my hair for the trip to Colombia, I expect to spend about $300 on braids, maybe something boho. I'm not really sure just yet. Entertainment. Realistically, September, October, and November, I may not have anything to do fun, so I'm trying to see if I can put aside $100, maybe to take myself out to a movie, to go Zydeco dancing, or to enjoy a little Remy. Well, we'll just have to see. That's not a requirement, but if I'm mostly working, I know I'm going to need a little bit of fun to hold me over. I would love to put up $250 towards my laser treatments because being a PCOS girly, they're a game changer, right? So I don't want to slow down on my laser treatments. They really do help and also boost my confidence as a Black American woman with PCOS. I need to go shopping for the trip to Colombia. I need about a $750 budget. Now, my best friend Kimon, his birthday is in October, and he still doesn't know what he wants to do. So for now, I'm trying to put up $1,100. If he doesn't decide to do anything, well, then I'll just take him out to a nice dinner and give him a nice little gift. That, if he doesn't do anything like a trip or something, that would help me save a lot of money. So I will say I'm not praying for a downfall, but you know. And then travel, the last of my travel needs for Colombia. This should take care of the Airbnb as well as all of the excursions and a little buffer for airport expenses or if the flight goes up by the time I'm ready to make my purchase. So that dollar value comes out to be $4,210 even. And so the grand total that I need is going to be $16,750. Now, as I spoke very highly of myself earlier, I know through bonuses, donating, sales, I'm going to hit that goal of bringing in an extra $4,210. Why? Because it's my birthright. I deserve it and I feel like it's mine. I feel like it's already within reach. I have the faith that it's mine and that I'm going to continue working for it and I'm going to get my up, okay? Like, we ain't playing these games. I want to live the life I deserve and I don't want to skimp or miss a beat or sit on the sidelines just because life be life in. And so I will be replicating the same method for the year of 2026 as we get closer to that year. And I'm going to be using these raw numbers to allocate and determine what my monthly reset should be. If you're interested in seeing how I do that, don't forget that I do have my August reset dropping more than likely on Friday, which is July the 31st. So subscribe, turn those notifications on so you don't miss a beat. I can't wait to show you guys how I'm implementing this method into my monthly resets. As always, thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you for listening. And I hope you were able to take away some Lux gems. Bye.